This case is not a whodunit. It's more of a why'd she do it. Linda admits she shot her husband, Patrick Duffey, in 2007, but she says it was an awful and unlikely accident. She's had to convince authorities that fact can be stranger than fiction because her legal defense has featured, among other things, a cast of cartoon characters.
In the annals of criminal defense, some cases stand out for their peculiarities. Few, however, are as unusual as the role Bugs Bunny, the iconic cartoon rabbit, played in a murder trial. This story revolves around Linda Gwozdz, a 57-year-old woman convicted of second-degree murder, nearly 7 years after claiming she accidentally shot her husband, Patrick Duffey, in their Whittier home. The tragic event occurred on April 26, 2007, in the couple's Sharon Hill Drive residence. Patrick Duffey, 50, was shot twice in the head. Linda Gwozdz, in her initial 911 call, claimed it was an accident. According to her, Duffey had been teaching her to use a gun when it discharged unintentionally. But the evidence told a different story. Duffey was found lying on the couch, appearing to have been asleep when the fatal shots were fired. The narrative didn't align with Gwozdz's claims, and suspicions arose almost immediately. From the outset, Linda Gwozdz's story shifted with each interview. Initially, she said her husband was lying on the couch when the gun accidentally fired. Later, she changed her account, claiming Duffey had been sitting upright and then reclined as she mistakenly fired the .38 caliber revolver. Prosecutors argued that her inconsistencies, coupled with the physical evidence, painted a picture far removed from an accidental shooting. During the trial, Gwozdz's defense attempted a strategy that caught widespread attention, drawing on popular media, including cartoons like Bugs Bunny, to illustrate the idea of accidental escalation. Defense lawyers argued that Gwozdz's understanding of firearms and self-defense may have been influenced by fictional depictions, where characters like Bugs Bunny routinely escape harm through quick reflexes and accidental interventions. While it wasn't explicitly framed as a Bugs Bunny defense, the implication was clear. Gwozdz may have been naive or misinformed about the real-life consequences of wielding a gun. Prosecutors were quick to dismiss the idea, maintaining that the double gunshots indicated intent rather than a spur-of-the-moment accident. Despite her claims of accidental discharge, investigators found no physical evidence to support Gwozdz's story. The gun, a .38 caliber revolver, would have required deliberate action to fire twice. Furthermore, detectives noted no signs of domestic violence in the relationship, leaving the motive unclear. Over the years, detectives continued to piece together the case. Their persistence paid off when new evidence prompted the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office to file murder charges in 2012. By this time, Gwozdz had relocated to Mississippi, remarried, and seemingly started a new life. However, she was extradited to Los Angeles shortly after her arrest and held on $2 million bail. The first trial ended in a mistrial in January 2014, with the jury unable to reach a unanimous verdict. But in a retrial, a jury convicted Gwozdz of second-degree murder after deliberating for less than 2 days. The court also found that she had personally discharged the firearm, resulting in Duffey's death. Gwozdz now faces 40 years to life in prison, with sentencing scheduled for March 9th. Despite the conviction, several mysteries remain. Prosecutors could not determine a clear motive. Linda Gwozdz referred to Duffey as her best friend and showed no outward signs of animosity. One possible motive revolved around a $300,000 life insurance policy. Listed beneficiary, a judge ultimately awarded the money to the couple's 2 sons. The case against Linda Gwozdz didn't come together overnight. Detectives from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Homicide Bureau worked tirelessly for years, revisiting the crime scene, conducting interviews, and analyzing evidence. What initially seemed like a tragic accident gained layers of suspicion as investigators discovered inconsistencies in Gwozdz's statements. Gwozdz moved to Mississippi shortly after her husband's death and remarried, attempting to leave her old life behind. However, the authorities didn't forget. In May 2012, after compiling enough evidence, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office filed charges. Gwozdz was extradited from Mississippi, signaling the start of a legal battle that would stretch across years and 2 trials. While the exact motive behind the shooting remains unclear, prosecutors highlighted the $300,000 life insurance policy on Patrick Duffey as a potential factor. Gwozdz was listed as the primary beneficiary, raising suspicions about whether financial gain might have influenced her actions. However, the money didn't go to Gwozdz. Through a judge's ruling, the couple's 2 sons were awarded the proceeds. This decision added another layer of complexity to the case, as it raised questions about whether Gwozdz had anticipated a financial windfall and was ultimately thwarted in her efforts. The unusual nature of this case captivated the public and media alike. The so-called Bugs Bunny defense added an element of the surreal, while the persistence of investigators highlighted the challenges of solving a case without a clear motive. Legal analysts pointed out that the jury's decision likely hinged on the weight of forensic evidence, which suggested the shooting was no accident. The lack of documented domestic violence or overt conflict between Gwozdz and Duffey made the case even more puzzling. Prosecutors emphasized that intent doesn't always stem from years of abuse or animosity. Sometimes it can arise in a single moment of choice. In the end, the jury sided with hard evidence over speculative arguments, delivering justice for Patrick Duffey. The case stands as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the gravity of firearm ownership and the importance of truth in seeking justice. What's your take on this unusual trial? Share your thoughts below.